Now, you may be thinking that Between Two Castles of Mad King Ludwig is just a mashup of Between Two Cities and Castles of Mad King Ludwig, and you would be wrong. It's a really, really good mashup of Between Two Cities and Castles of Mad King Ludwig that just so happens to be better than the sum of its parts. In Between Two Castles, players are each building two castles that rest between them and the players next to them on their left and right. Turns happen simultaneously where players draft two room tiles from the stack in front of them, then everyone passes the remaining stack on. Once everyone is selected, players reveal their rooms and work with their castle co-owners to decide placement, as long as each player places one tile in each of their castles. Of the 147 basic rooms, they all fall into 7 room categories, which grant points for various reasons. Living rooms and hallways give points for surrounding rooms of specific categories and types. Food rooms want to touch rooms in specific locations, whereas utility rooms give points for uninterrupted connections of certain tiles. Others are less focused on proximity, like the outdoor rooms that grant points for various types of rooms anywhere in your castle, but cannot have any tiles placed above it. Underground rooms, which reward you for the contents of their column, or the sleeping rooms, which are worth a mighty 4 points each as long as you have at least one of each of the other room types in your castle. And all of this stems from your starting throne room, and each one rewards points for specific rooms in certain positions, encouraging unique development of each beautiful castle. It's hard to overstate the satisfaction that comes from picking and placing the perfect tile in your castle. But when you and your opponent are each picking tiles, because you can't talk to one another while you're actually drafting, and you happen to be on the same wavelength, and you pick tiles that work so wonderfully together and reveal and place them at the same time, nothing is better. Which brings me to another thing that I really love about this game is that it feels so decadent in its presentation. It reinforces the opulent and bizarre luxury of these perplexing castles. Like, you crack open this box and boom, inside are these incredible inserts which are perfectly sculpted, beautiful, but also super functional. And then the castles themselves, they're modeled after 7 legit German castles. There's over 140 pieces of unique artwork, each with tons of Easter eggs for you to search through. And then there's even this rulebook here, which is made of this bizarre, wonderful, canvasy vinyl material that I just want to touch. It feels like you're getting this sort of wonderful, pristine, crafted package. And that sort of sophisticated blend of depth and elegance extends to the gameplay, too. On top of the initial consideration in trying to find the right tile for the right spot in your castle, each room type has a bonus that you and your partner work out if you add a third room of the same type in a castle. 3 hallways grants a grand foyer worth a point for every room surrounding it, whereas the service rooms will give you access to cards granting points for all kinds of reasons, ranging from height and width of your castle to number of specific rooms. The trickiest part about this game is that after 2 rounds of drafting 8 tiles for each castle, points are counted in each player's score is the value of their castle worth the least points. So the player with the best worst castle wins. No hogging all your good tiles for one mega castle. Rightly so, given the name of the game, the heart of Between Two Castles lies in the decisions that you make between two castles. And a lot of that comes from the unique sort of tension that's created in the conflicting relationship that you have with your partners as you make your castles. It's going to feel like a cooperative game with both of your partners, but you know they don't want each other to win, and in truth, you don't want them to win. But you're working on this collaborative project together, and with both castles, you are genuinely invested in making something grand. And I love that. It makes the game feel positive and uplifting and fun. And even if you lose, you still get to share with your partner about all the different things that your castle specialized in, the weird rooms, the construction that you did, the shape of it. It makes for a much cooler experience than most games leave you feeling, win or lose. But then again, all of that changes in a very cool way when playing the 2-player variant. When playing with two players, a third dummy player, Ludwig, is controlled by one player during the first round of drafting and by the other player during the second. During each turn, before players pick from their stacks as normal, the player controlling Ludwig draws 2 tiles randomly from Ludwig's stack and chooses which of his 2 adjacent castles, which are shared with the other players, they each go to. Simple, elegant, and absolutely sinister. My favorite part of the 2-player variant is that this game that I was just describing, this positive, uplifting, friendly, yet competitive game where people are feeling this collaborative spirit with one another, yeah, it goes out the window because you are going to be so focused on you and your homie Ludwig sloughing the worst possible tiles to your opponent's castle, trying to beef up your own. And then on your opponent's turn to control Ludwig, they're going to be doing the same to you, and you will reap what you sow. That is so cool that it becomes a mean game. Not altogether a take that game, but a game where you are strategizing very directly how you are going to throw everything in the face of your opponent. And the best part about this is that because you are building up your castle with Ludwig and they're building up their castle, there's a good chance that that shared castle will be the worst, and in some cases Ludwig's will be the happy medium between them, and Ludwig himself will win. And when this happens, the players have nothing to blame but their own hubris. It doesn't happen often, but the fact that it can happen is awesome. I can't believe I'm saying this, but for like the first time ever, the 2-player variant in a drafting game is tense, competitive, fast, and fun. Different, but fun. Overall, Castles is such a wonderful game, perfectly suited to keep a full table engaged for the swift 45-ish minute playtime, which remains consistent at each player count. I played this game during lunch hours at coffee shops, at game nights with the group, with brand new gamers and old graybeards who think Gloomhaven is a nice medium weight game, and everyone seems to have fun. The rules are simple, the look is inviting, and the aforementioned illustrations hide so many little secrets that the little bit of downtime you do have will be spent looking for hidden gems. If I do have any complaints, it's that the scoring can be a chore, and the score pad, where each sheet is meant to score only one castle, seems a bit wasteful. Instead, we typically hand out a couple sheets and score in a single column, with groups of players helping each other out to make sure points are added up right. And while the detail and cohesion of the artwork is really superb, I wish it were a bit more stylized and expressive like the artwork on the box. But if those are my only 2 complaints, then it is easy to say that Between Two Castles is one of the most versatile and most charming tile laying games I've played. This game is truly greater than the sum of its parts. Not only is it more dynamic than Between Two Cities ever was, what with all the castle's oeuvre imbuing it with all sorts of different room bonuses and tons of theme. I mean, everyone is going to be looking at their castle after playing it and being like, oh, follow me through the throne room, into the vestibule, up through the salon, into the dreaming room, and then up to the secret door to the aviary. That is one of the most delightful parts of concluding any one of these games, is just looking at the bizarre, crazy stuff in all of the castles. But it's also far better of a game than Castles of Mad King Ludwig, which was always too finicky for my taste, not to mention all the little tiny bits and pieces were hard to manipulate for my big giant hands. So I really love this game because it takes the best aspects of both of those and delivers something that is unique and fresh and fun. Between the packaging and presentation, to the high quality components and the artwork, to the flow and feel of the game that's collaborative and competitive and cooperative all at the same time, with a lot of really good tension and decision making, to the legitimately awesome 2-player variant that is different but is good in its own right. This is a really stellar package, and I have no problem recommending that if you like tile placement games, you like games with quirky themes, or you like games that are collaborative in nature, then you really need to check out Between Two Castles of Mad King Ludwig. If you enjoyed this video, we have all kinds of other reviews, interviews, and recommendations via writing, podcasts, and video here on our channel and website cardboardherald.com. Our content is audience supported, so if you want to show your support, please visit our Patreon. Thank you so much for watching. This has been the Cardboard Herald.